sick, there's no cars. Dude, there's been so many cars. So, ooh, sheesh. Sheesh. All right, whew, we got this. Let's talk about being a traveling filmmaker. I know when I was first getting into it, I was always curious about traveling, and I thought it was like the coolest thing. I remember watching these traveling filmmakers like Sam Colder, Matt Como, and the people with like all the flashy transitions, which is super cool and for what they did in their niche of showing the world. But what I wanted to talk about today is what it means, at least from my view, of being a traveling filmmaker and working on different types of projects where you're there in a location for a client, and what that looks like behind the scenes. With traveling, you have to think about the logistics aspect of it, with what are you going to bring on site and how are you going to get there, and all those hidden little things that aren't there when you first hear the words traveling filmmaker, you know? And for me, that was a shock, because when I first thought about it, I was like, oh, I can just like go and I have like an unlimited budget, but it's not the reality yet, at least. So you have to think about the overhead of what type of storage you're gonna need in terms of physical. So if you're traveling on a plane, that makes it completely different. So like for this, I am in Idaho right now, but I am shooting a project in Washington. It is a destination wedding. So with that, is a lot of storage space physically in a bag that I have to put. Having all this gear that you have to bring to these projects, you have to be very efficient with what you do with the space that you have in your bag. And so with me, I'm bringing 3 cameras, a few external mics, backup storage unit or storage spaces, my laptop, chargers, batteries, and all this good stuff. And I have to fit that into a bag if I don't want to check something. And ideally, you won't check your gear. So if you do have to check anything, it should be things that you can like replace on site, or clothing, things that won't be detrimental to your project. So that's just something that I didn't really think of the first project that I went and traveled, as I thought I could just go show up with a camera and be good, but I was totally wrong. Tip number 2 is thinking about the budget. So you have your cost as an overhead as the filmmaker itself in the project and editing, but you also have to consider the budget. So say you need a car on site when you get there and arrive at location, or there's like a hotel, accommodations, food. You have to account for those types of costs, and a lot of times the client doesn't want to have to worry about it when you are on site and at the project and like carry all those receipts and then bill them after. So the best advice, and something that I've learned and what I've done, because I just budget all in at a package cost up front. So with that though, you have to think about those things, and you have to make your best estimation so you can make money and profit on the back end as well. And now with that said, if you can and you can fit it into your schedule, dude, enjoy the environment that you're in, because I always try to at least give myself half a day if it's a tight schedule, or maybe even a day, which is at my own cost, to explore the area, because a lot of times I'm not going to be coming back here on my own dollar unless if it's somewhere I just fell in love with. So definitely take time to enjoy the environment that you're in, because that's one of the fucking cool things that we get to do as part of our jobs, is traveling. So do take that time at least to take into account what we get to do. So quick review, just thinking about what you need as a necessity as you travel, so you know that you can show up, be effective, be efficient, get your job done as the contractor to that client. And then also thinking about the budgeting, because there's some hidden costs that may not be so apparent up front. And then also take time for yourself and enjoy where you're at, because like right now I'm sitting on a rock talking to you in Idaho with a fucking beautiful view behind me, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you for taking time to watch, and let me know if there is any other types of like business topics or anything relating to freelancing, filmmaking, entrepreneurship alike down below, and I will take note and we can have a conversation about that. Have a great day, and fucking inspire to aspire, people. Let's go!